Well, good morning. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me as you always do today. As you know, it is May 1st, 2012. We're going to begin, as we always do, with your headlines. Folks, possible running mate choice for Mitt Romney. We'll tell you about that. Also today, folks, we have news for you of Rupert Murdoch, and the news is not good, folks. Of course, it hasn't been good for some time now. He's really in trouble now. Then, remember former IMF chief, International Monetary Fund chief Dominic Strauss Kahn? Well, a big setback for him. I guess he'll be coming back to New York soon. Also today, Delta Airlines and a unique way to save money on gas, plus news of your consumer spending, then layoffs at Bank of America, also news of the housing industry, and then will a parking ban help these New Yorkers stop having sex in their cars? Yeah, okay, only in New York. All right, now, let's go and begin with your news. Let's take a look at the race for the presidency 2012. Let's talk about the Republicans. It looks like Senator Rob Portman of Ohio is at least the choice for some for Mitt Romney's running mate. Now, apparently one of the issues is Portman's ability to energize the party. The question being, can he do it? Because some, including his own son, say he is dry as dust. Dad, get it? D-A-D, dry as dust, okay? Well, for his part, will that make a difference? I don't know. They say Sarah Palin came into the party and was really able to energize the party, doubting that this guy could do this. So what are his accomplishments? Well, he's a native of Cincinnati, Ohio. He served in the House from 1993 to 2004, was a member of the Tax Writing House Ways and Means Committee. He was elected to the U.S. Senate less than 2 years ago. He was appointed to that Deficit Reduction Super Committee. Remember that committee? That failed, but he was appointed there. They were supposed to reach a far-reaching budget deal, but of course it didn't happen. He did also serve in the White House Legislative Affairs and Counsel's offices under George H.W. Bush, and then assumed cabinet rank under George W. Bush as Budget Director and U.S. Trade Representative. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Let's turn now to some international news. Take a look at News Corp and the Rupert Murdoch hacking scandal. Oh, my goodness. That's all I can say, okay? All of its outcomes. British lawmakers now say that media mogul Rupert Murdoch is not a fit and proper person. That is a quote, fit and proper person to run a major international company. It's very serious for Rupert Murdoch because the ruling could mean that British lawmakers could force Murdoch to sell his controlling stake in British Sky Broadcasting, commonly known as B-Sky-B. Folks, that is a significant part of the Murdoch media empire. Now, why, you may ask, did British lawmakers rule this way? Well, they say Murdoch and his son James showed willful blindness to phone hacking at News of the World, and said the newspaper, quote, deliberately tried to thwart the police investigation, unquote, into the illegal activity. Now the full House of Commons has to rule on whether Murdoch and others committed contempt by misleading the committee, and if so, what proper punishment should be imposed. He is in, boy, I'll tell you, just do the right thing. All right, overseas and here at home, both. In New York, the sex assault case against former IMF chief, that would be the International Monetary Fund, former chief Dominic Strauss Kahn. It is back in action, folks. A Bronx judge throwing out DSK's claim of diplomatic immunity. Now, you'll remember that chambermaid Nafissatou Diallo is suing DSK in a civil suit, claiming he sexually assaulted her in a violent, sadistic attack. Those are her words, at the Sofitel Hotel. DSK, as you know, tried to claim international protection immunity, the judge saying, I don't think so. Now DSK can be forced back to New York City for what they're calling a rigorous deposition. Might be a nice vacation, though, for old DSK, since he's also involved in a sex scandal in his home country of France. Specifically, it's a high-class prostitution ring. A conviction in that case could land him in jail for 20 years. In business news and here at home, you're spending more money, so you must feel better about the economy. Americans increased their spending by 0.3% in March. That is the word from the Commerce Department, which also said personal incomes rose 0.4%. Now, as you know, consumer spending is important because it does account for 70% of all economic activity in the U.S. Looking at the financial services industry over at Bank of America, apparently the Charlotte, North Carolina company is planning about 2,000 staff cuts. Now, those staff cuts expected to be in investment banking, commercial banking, and non-U.S. wealth management units. Why is it significant? Well, because these layoffs target the very high-earning employees who helped Merrill Lynch account for the bulk of Bank of America's profits since the financial crisis. You'll remember that Bank of America bought Merrill Lynch. And, of course, the whole thing just proves that no good deed goes unpunished. I'll tell you that, folks. All right, also, let's turn to the airline industry now. One way to cut gas costs, okay? Delta Airlines reportedly buying an oil refinery in Pennsylvania. The airline believing this will help it save money on gas. I am talking about the Trainer Refinery in Philadelphia. It's currently owned by ConocoPhillips gas company Phillips 66. The move expected to allow Delta to reduce its fuel expense by $300 million annually, if you can believe that. The cost, $150 million to purchase the refinery, another $100 million to make changes to the refinery to facilitate jet fuel production, but Delta will also receive $30 million in assistance from the state of Pennsylvania, and Delta is also saying that purchasing of the refinery will also help it to ensure jet fuel availability there in the Northeast. And housing home ownership in America still in deep trouble and now at the lowest rate in 15 years as more delinquent borrowers, of course, are losing their homes to foreclosure. In fact, the percentage of Americans who own their homes dropped a full percentage point over the past 12 months, going to 65.4%. That was the rate during the first 3 months of 2012. And that, of course, does come to us from the U.S. Census Bureau. Now, the home ownership rate, you should know, is the lowest rate since 1997. It's down from a peak of 69.2%, which was reached in 2004. Meanwhile, as you might expect, all the folks losing their homes are being forced into the rental market. The rental vacancy rate then dropped to 8.8% during the first quarter. That is down from 9.7% a year earlier. The impact is this, folks. The median asking rent last quarter was $721. That is up 5.6% from 12 months earlier. We should tell you that rents are the highest in the Northeast, where the median is $932 a month, followed by the West at $845 a month, followed by the South at $660 a month, followed by the Midwest at $607 a month. And then finally today from New York City, New Yorkers want a parking ban. They say that is the only thing that is going to stop these party club goers from having sex in the back seats of their cars sitting right there parked on the street, folks. You heard me. Residents say they are disgusted and they want the city to ban parking on weekend nights. We're talking about the area around West 30th Street between 7th and 8th Avenues. And folks, you should know this is an area where the apartments rent for $9,500 a month. Ouch. Okay? And you think you've got problems. All right, folks. So, those are your stories. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. I am Carol Angela Davis. See you on Friday. Have yourself a wonderful day.